The Senate passes the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. What this means for the stock market. Okay guys, in this video we're going to talk about the upcoming $1.9 trillion stimulus package and how it's going to affect the markets heading into next week and beyond. Before I get into this video guys, be sure you guys sign up for Webull and grab your 2 free stocks. All you have to do is open a Webull, a brokerage account, deposit at least $100. You receive 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850. So be sure to click the link in the description below, guys, or go to investortrip.com/Webull. Let me know which stocks you guys get. So guys, let's talk a little bit more about the stimulus package. So this was officially passed by the Senate on Saturday, and now they just have to send it back to the House to get some final amendments, and then hopefully it will be signed by President Joe Biden, guys. So let's talk a little bit more about this package, what's exactly going down. So as you can see here, it says the Senate Democrats passed their $1.9 trillion corona. So as you see here, it says Senate Democrats passed their $1.9 trillion relief package on Saturday, send it back to the House for expected approval in the coming days. So let's talk a little bit about what this package is going to do. So as it says, the Democratic House aims to pass the bill on Tuesday and send it to the President Joe Biden for his signature before March 4th deadline to renew unemployment aid programs. So it says the legislation accrues direct payments up to $1,400 for most Americans, a $300 weekly boost to jobless benefits into September, and expansion to the child tax credit for 1 year. So you got guys, $1.9 trillion will be basically hitting the economy, and I expect a lot of this money to end up in the stock market. So this is exactly what we've seen happen with the past 2 stimulus distributions. A lot of that money, a lot of people out there are going to be eligible for this payment, and of course they have some extra money, perhaps they'll use it to pay off bills or save the money or invest in the stock market. So now let's head over to the SPY, and as you can see here, it's basically sold off a bit from the high. So we're at around, now this tracks the S&P 500 guys, so this is basically a general barometer of the stock market. So as you can see here, basically we had a huge spike here, and then we had that recent dip, and then a lot of people came in and bought that dip, so we saw a lot of stocks, particularly EV stocks, sell off and things like that. So what I think is going to happen with a lot of this stimulus money? Well, if you guys have been following my videos, you know why I'm so so important, I think, to buy the recent dip that we saw, because a lot, over almost $2 trillion is going to be, entering the economy, and a lot of this money is going to end up in the stock market. So, usually when we see more dollars created and put into circulation, that usually translate into higher stock prices, right? So, with almost $2 trillion in stimulus, this basically devalues the dollar even more, and we're going to see stocks as well as Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, I think, rise in price, right? It's just simple supply demand, right? So more dollars created, that makes, each stock, it's going to be valued in more US dollars simply because there's just more dollars available. So now is a really interesting opportunity, I think, because there was a lot of people that were worried about rising interest rates and things like that. A lot of people were taking gains, and now we're going to have $2 trillion hit the marketplace. So just talk a little bit more about the current game plan. So as you can see here, we just take a step back here over the last year. It's been a really rocky ride, and when we had that dip back in March, things have recovered nicely, and it seems like there was a bit of, resistance here, and perhaps it looked like we were even heading into bear market territory. So I know a lot of you guys have been leaving comments on some of my other previous videos, as to referencing, ChargePoint and things like that. So I want to just talk a little bit about what I think the stimulus is going to do. So for me personally, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be basically doing exactly as I've been doing the whole time, adding my favorite stocks and also Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is an excellent hedge against, the devaluation of the the US dollar. So for you guys that are already invested in stocks, let's say you don't want to invest more money in stocks, I would say buying Bitcoin. You can buy Bitcoin as a great hedge against inflation as well. But if you're looking to add to positions, you're going to have this is still a nice opportunity. So especially for a lot of these EV stocks, they're trading at cheaper levels. A lot of tech stocks have sold off and are looking a lot more attractive as well. And even some, some of these old school dividend paying stocks like Walmart and AT&T and stuff like that. If you're looking for dividend income, these are some excellent choices as well. But the important thing I think it is to realize is to have an extremely long-term view. So even if we back up over 5 years, as you can see here, the S&P 500, even though there's been several dips or crashes, as you would call it, and we had one in 2018, then another one in 2018, and of course the big one in March. The S&P 500 has recovered every single time, guys. So I think it's really important to have a long-term perspective. You really don't want to view stocks as just tickers on the screen. These are real portions of real life businesses, and as long as American business overall will do well, I think stocks will be just fine, guys. So I would say, basically maintain a long-term plan. It's really best to think of stocks. I think Warren Buffett said it best. He basically said, don't buy a stock you wouldn't be willing to hold for 10 years. If you're not willing to hold it for 10 years, don't hold it for 10 minutes. And I think that's a really good strategy to hold. If you're thinking over 5 to 10 year periods, you're going to do a lot better in the stock market. And I think just thinking short term is going to make you panic selling, things like that. So I'm going to make some more videos, but I just wanted to make this quick video on the stimulus. I think this is a huge catalyst for the markets. And it'll be really interesting to see how things play out over the next 2 weeks, because they're probably going to end up signing this bill into law probably next week, which means as soon as it's signed into law, they're going to start distributing those payments. So I expect the second half of March to be really a lot of volatility in the markets, as a lot of people are getting their hands on some extra money, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to end up putting it in on trading apps like Robinhood and Webull and stuff like that, and just seeing what they can do, if they can perhaps grow this money, because this is going to be the biggest, almost basically the biggest stimulus. So the first one was $1,200, then $600, now $1,400. So we're not really sure if this is the last stimulus package that they're going to be releasing, because from what I've been reading, it seems like this just isn't enough. And this is just like a temporary band-aid, and perhaps there have to be some more long-term solutions here. But, we'll see what happens. So it'll be really interesting to see how this stimulus works out. But we should see a lot of volatility in the market. So I would think the number one thing I'm trying to do now is trying to increase my buying power. So just looking for ways to save money and accumulate more cash that I can put into the markets to profit from a lot of this volatility that should be coming up. And of course, buy Bitcoin, guys. So if you guys are interested in buying Bitcoin, you should always have a portion of your overall investment portfolio in Bitcoin. At least 1%. Me personally, I have around 10% of my portfolio in Bitcoin. I use Coinbase to hold my Bitcoin. It's my favorite. I think it's very safe, and even though there's fees and stuff like that, it's the biggest in the United States, and I've been using them for quite some time. I've had a Coinbase account for years, so I really trust them, guys. So be sure to check out Coinbase. You guys like Coinbase and you want to buy some crypto, you can click the link in the description below, or go to investortrip.com/Coinbase and get a free $10 in Bitcoin when you trade at least $100 for your first transaction. So that's it until next, guys. We'll give you guys a heads up on this. I think it's really interesting information, and so be sure to do your homework for next week. We'll see what plays out. There should be a lot of volatility. It should be interesting. So that's it until next time, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like my content, please give me a thumbs up and smash the red subscribe button. And be sure to check out my daily Stock Watch newsletter, guys. I'll be sending that out on Monday morning. You guys can check out my private Discord chat for $25 as well. So that's it until next time, guys. Take care.